Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Heather and today we are going to be talking about a Philodendron Majestic. Now, as we all know, a Majestic is a crossbred between a Philodendron sodiroi and a Philodendron verrucosum. But did you know not every sodiroi and verrucosum produces a true Majestic? Stay tuned. I'm going to show you what the differences are and whether or not you have a true Philodendron Majestic. Okay, so I guess it's only appropriate that we talk about the two parents first before we go into the Majestic. Now, over here I have a sodiroi and over here I have a verrucosum. Now, mind you, I have a dark form verrucosum. The difference between a regular verrucosum, well, technically there's probably like 20 different variations of a verrucosum, but the one that I have is the dark form. Now, what makes this different from the other ones is that it's much darker and it's not as red in the front. However, the back, still a party in the back, it's still red and you still see the hairy petioles. Now, because mine is a mid-cut, this is the reason why you see this more mature form and then you have this guy and this little baby over here. It's because it is a mid-cut. Now, this, I guess, third leaf is probably gonna be a little bit bigger than this one because this just unfurled and it's still hardening off. So this one is doing a lot right now. But in any case, what I'm trying to get at is the leaves are very velvety and the back is this burgundy color. It's beautiful, honestly, it really is. The only thing that I have to say about verrucosums is that they are just, they're magnets for spider mites, and quite honestly, I don't love it, but this one really spoke to me. I think it's just because it's a dark form and I have a thing for like dark velvety leaves. It's probably why I love the gloriosum so much. Okay, so let's recap. Verrucosum. If you have a regular verrucosum, you're gonna have velvety leaves, lime green veins, hairy petioles. I hope you can see that. Hairy petioles and this red burgundy back. Okay, so moving on to the sodiroi. Now, I did do a video on fake sodiroi or sodiroi AFF versus the true sodiroi. The crossbred is with a true sodiroi, not with the sodiroi AFF. Okay, so like I had mentioned in my previous video, you're gonna have, is this one prominent? Probably this one. You're gonna have silver streaks. The petiole back here is going to be red up at the top. And I don't think I can show you, but hopefully it may focus. Right at the top of the petiole right there, it's smooth but bumpy. So there is some texture up here. And its leaves actually feel very hard, like it's almost cardboard-like. Not as cardboard-like as Anthurium, but close. Just not the same. It's still like thick, but it's not that thick. And what I didn't mention in my last video is that the juvenile form are gonna have more of the silver streaks, and as it gets older, it's actually gonna lose the silver. So this one is a more mature leaf, and you can see that it's not as silver as this one. So I think that's something that's very important for you to take note as well. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the Philodendron Majestic. I think the easiest way for me to kind of talk about it is to show you a true Majestic. So I do have two over here, and these two are both true forms of a Majestic. The reason for that is because it shows 50-50% traits of both the plants that I had mentioned earlier. So the front is going to be silver, splashy, and It's like this velvet texture, but it also looks kind of like waxy, like the sodiroi. And then the back also has that red backing, that burgundy backing. And if you look at the petiole, you can see that it's green, and then up at the top it has the red, and hopefully you can see the texture of the petiole as well. So it has that characteristics of a sodiroi that I had shown you earlier. Okay, so this is where things get a little bit complicated, and we're going to be talking about genetics. I'm not an expert, so by all means, this is just my hypothesis. I'm sure there's somebody out there who's much more knowledgeable than me, and please, if you're watching this, drop a comment down below with whether or not I'm kind of in the ballpark, but just gonna put myself out there and see what happens. All right, so like I had mentioned, a Majestic is a crossbred between a sodiroi and a Varicosum. Genes, I think, plays a huge role in whether or not you're going to produce a true Majestic, or at least the Majestic that everybody is trying to go for. I'm going to insert a photo over here or here somewhere, and I'm going to just refer back to it. So this particular photo to me looks more like a Varicosum. How did that happen? Well, I think what had happened was there was more of a dominant gene in the Varicosum than there was in the sodiroi. I guess to break it down, what my hypothesis is that a true Majestic requires both parents to have both dominant traits. So the sodiroi has to have like the dominant traits, and the Varicosum needs to have the dominant traits. We're gonna say genes because that's probably the correct term. I'm pretty sure it's the correct term, but in any case, we're gonna say genes. So if you remember back in high school where they talked about dominant genes, recessive genes, and codominance, and they had that Punnett square, I think that's like the easiest way that I can break it down. So in order to get 50-50, you need both the parents to acquire dominant genes. So if this Varicosum has both the dominant genes, and then you're gonna have a recessive gene over here, and it only carries recessive genes, you're gonna only have the dominant genes coming through. So I'm pretty sure that's the reason why that that particular plant looks more like a Varicosum, and that's the reason why I think like a true Majestic requires a plant that has both parents with dominant genes. Now, with that said, I'm pretty sure there's more that goes into this as well. For example, which plant is going to be the mother and which one's going to be the father plant. I have no idea. I just know that there are Majestics out there that don't look like the Majestics that we're all going after. And I've also noticed that the splashing on the true Majestic kind of reminds me of camouflage, like, you know, that like the army green kind of color. That's what it reminds me of, which is why, like, there are some plants where I look at it and I'm just like, I don't think that's a true Majestic. In any case, I mean, it's all preference, right? Some people might really like the more velvety look, and some people might like the more silver look. Now, with that said, I'm going to insert a photo over here. This particular Majestic probably looks more like a Varicosum to most people, and when I first saw it, I was like, that kind of looks like a Varicosum. like some sort of hybrid. Clearly it is a hybrid, and I'm pretty sure it is a Majestic. It's just, like I had mentioned earlier, the sodiroi, as it gets older, it loses the silver. So I'm pretty sure that plant is a really mature plant, and that's the reason why it's lost the silver splashes, and you see more of the green in that plant. So that's why, like, I guess to anybody else who's looking at it for the first time, they probably say, oh no, that's like a verrucosum, that's definitely not a majestic, because I was that noob. And then my good friend was like, don't you remember the sodiroi fades and loses the silver? So my bad. In any case, I hope this was helpful. I hope that you guys learned something new today, and if you like content like this, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and drop a comment down below and let me know that you like videos like this and what you want to see next time. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!